soy Josh y esto es Accents Languages. Gracias por venir. En este video y en otros videos voy a enseñarte los primeros 25 verbos más importantes en inglés. Para que reconozcas esos verbos con sus pronunciaciones, los voy a enseñar en inglés y si aprendes estas 25 palabras, vas a aprender inglés. ¿Listos? Empecemos. Okay. First of all, anytime I write a pronunciation, I'll write it below the word using the International Phonetic Alphabet, or IPA, which has all the sounds that are in every language. So it's going to look something like this. Doorknob. The first verb, and definitely the most important one to learn, is be. This is the second most used word in the English language, but it's so much more important than the first word, which is the. You may not have noticed, but I've already said the word 6 times, mostly as is. In most languages, you can be something or you can be somewhere, but usually it's not the same word. For instance, in Korean, I would say 자십니다 or 여기 있습니다. Likewise, in Spanish, I could say soy Josh or estoy aquí. In both cases, the verb for each sentence is different. But in English, it's the same. So this just shows you how important the word really is. So in English, I would say, I'm Josh. I would also say, I'm here. So you really need to take some time getting familiar with the verb be. And if you do that, you'll have a super strong foundation as you learn more and more English. Now, let's talk a little bit about how to use the verb. Like many other languages, there are tenses and there are conjugations. We won't get into every way to use be, but you will come out of this video with a solid foundation and understanding. First, let's start with the conjugation. The good news is the conjugations are simple. I am, you are. She is, he is, it is, we are, they are. If the subject is this, that, or any other singular noun, like the mountain, my dad, your car, then be is conjugated the same as it is for the pronoun it. On the other hand, if the subject is these, those, or other plural nouns like the mountains, my parents, or your cars, then be is conjugated the same as it is for the pronoun they. And that's it for present tense. Now, you may remember that I said I'm Josh, not I am Josh. Both mean exactly the same thing. But in English, like most, if not all languages, we try to shorten things up and make them faster to say. So we contract the subject and the verb to make it shorter. And this is what it sounds like. I am becomes I'm. You are, you're. She is, she's. He is, he's. It is, it's. We are, were. They are, they're. I could also say this is, that's, the mountains, and my dad's, like my dad's at the store. However, we don't contract plural nouns like these, those, or the mountains. We only use the verb in its entirety. We would say these are, those are, the mountains are. Because I want you to learn, and because it's far more common to say I'm than to say I am, I will almost always use the contraction. Let's practice. I'm Josh. I'm hungry. I'm here. You're Jennifer. You're at home. You're happy. She's Molly. She's tired. She's at school. He's Jim. He's sleepy. He's somewhere. It's a dog. It's energetic. It's over there. We're the Smiths. We're a family. We're neighbors. They're the Joneses. They're nice. They're grandparents. Now, before we move on to other conjugations, there are two more things that are really important about the verb be. The first is that we can use the verb to ask yes or no questions by putting the verb at the beginning of the sentence. I will use some of the same examples, and I'll ask questions so that you can hear them. Am I late? Are you Jennifer? Is she Molly? Are they the Smiths? Are you hungry? Are you cold? Is he ready? Is she at school? Are they with friends? The answer to all these could just be a simple yes or no, and that's why we call them yes or no questions. The second thing I want to talk about with be is that you can use be with another verb to indicate something that's happening right now, like some sort of an action. The same thing can be done in Spanish and Korean. In English, I would say I'm reading. Korean, 읽고 있어요. In Spanish, estoy leyendo. In English, this is usually how we talk about something that's happening in that moment. Here are some examples. I'm eating. I'm driving. You're learning English. You're watching this video. She's working. He's playing. They're walking. We're thinking. It's snowing. Okay, now one tricky thing. If you want to say the negative of the verb, there are two ways to say that except for the pronoun I. For instance, I can say, I am Josh, I'm Josh, I'm not Bob. And that's really the only way to say it. Either I am not Bob or I'm not Bob. But for the other subjects, you can either contract the subject and the verb like we've done in the past and add the word not, or you can contract the word not and the verb. So it'll sound something like this. You're not eating. Or you aren't eating. She's not happy. She isn't happy. He's not sleeping. He isn't sleeping. It's not working. It isn't working. We're not ready. We aren't ready. They're not here. They aren't here. Wow. You may not think it, but you've already learned a lot. And you can do this. I know you can. Let's keep going. Let's talk about past tense now. In a lot of Romance languages, there are two past tenses, like in Spanish, estudié and estudiaba. But good news, in English, there's only one. And there are very few conjugations. I was. You were. She was. He was. It was. We were. They were. It's that simple. It's either were or was. And we don't contract the subject and the verb for past tense. Let's go over a few examples. I was late. I was a student at the university. You were on time. You were driving your car. She was mad. She was cooking dinner. He was rude. He was watching TV. It was boring. It was a blast. We were in New York. We were really tired. They were ready to leave. They were misunderstood. Although we don't contract the subject and the verb using the past tense, we do contract the verb and not. Using the same sentences, I'll give examples with not. So, I was not late would become I wasn't late. I wasn't a student at the university. You weren't on time. You weren't driving your car. She wasn't mad. She wasn't cooking dinner. He wasn't rude. He wasn't watching TV. It wasn't broken. It wasn't boring. We weren't in New York. We weren't really tired. They weren't ready to leave. They weren't misunderstood. Previously, we said that you can use be with a verb to talk about something that you are doing. You can do the same thing for things in the past tense to say something that you were doing. I'll use the same verbs as before. I was eating. I was sleeping. I was driving. You were learning English. You were watching this video. She was working. He was playing. They were walking. We were thinking. It was snowing. Now that we've talked about the past, let's talk about the future. This is really simple. Instead of conjugating the verb, all we need to do is add the word will in front. And you probably guessed that we usually contract will with the subject. And if you did guess, you're right. This is what it looks like. I will becomes I'll. I will be, I'll be. You will be, you'll be. She will be, she'll be. He will be, he'll be. It will be, it'll be. We will be, will be. They will be, they'll be. If you think that sounds easy, you're right. Here's some examples using be in the future tense. I'll be there at 3. You'll be sick if you eat that. She'll be ready when you get there. He'll be happy when you tell him the good news. It'll be too late if we don't leave now. We'll be eating at 6 o'clock. They'll be waiting for you. The only thing that makes will a little bit difficult is that the contraction for saying will not is won't. So I'll give you a few examples just so you can see how it works. I will not be becomes I won't be. You will not be, you won't be. She will not be, she won't be. He will not be, he won't be. It will not be, it won't be. We will not be, we won't be. They will not be, they won't be. I won't be there at 3 o'clock. You won't be sick if you eat that. She won't be ready when you get there. He won't be happy when you tell him the bad news. It won't be too late if we leave now. We won't be eating at 6 o'clock. They won't be waiting for you. Good job, guys. There are a lot more ways to use the verb be, but it'll make more sense if we introduce them with some other verbs. So for now, practice what you've learned in this video. Again, this is the most important verb and the most important word in the English language. And if you can master what's in this video, you'll be so far ahead of other people who are trying to figure out the different colors of the rainbow and the different items in their kitchen. You're awesome, and I know you can do this. Felicidades, ya has empezado a aprender inglés y ya sabes el verbo más importante en el idioma. Usa el video otra vez y tómalo tiempo suficiente para hacerte sentir cómodo con este verbo. Y tengo un secreto. Be es el verbo más difícil en inglés. Y ya lo has aprendido mucho. I'm confident you can do this. Estoy confidente de que tú puedes hacer esto. Si te gustó este video, dale like, suscríbete y compártelo con tus amigos, por favor. Recuerda que puedes escuchar nuestros podcasts de inglés gratis cuando quieras en Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts y accentsandlanguages.com. Si quieres aprender aún más rápido, puedes obtener una transcripción de nuestros podcasts en accentslanguages.com. Nos vemos en el siguiente video. Hasta luego. See you later.